in the game against Chaemiko, who people who don't follow Warcraft too much might not even know him. And there's, I think, not too much standing out from his perspective, except his insane micro when it comes to like small army sizes, blocking, surroundings. These little stuff that, especially in the early mid-game, can get you the advantage. Chaemiko is that damn good at it.
He's kind of the king of early game micro. Like 40 supply and less, Chaemiko is unbelievable. If we go super late game, which is where many of the greats shine, perhaps not his strongest suit. But again, coming back to this matchup, human versus orc, this is a standout matchup. This is by far his strongest. This is where he has recently actually made, once again, a strong showing in the WCG qualifiers, eliminating not only Focus, but also Lin.
Yep.
He didn't, in the end, make it to the top 2 from Korea. That was Fly100 and Moon making it, of course. But still, he is always going to be a scary opponent in this matchup, specifically.
True that. The stats against Fly are basically 50-50. They played each other 10 times in the past. It's 4 and 6 from Chaemiko's perspective. In maps, it's 11-13. So basically as close as it gets. It's not like one player has a big streak going on and the other comes back. No, they're exchanging wins left, right, and center. The question is, Chaemiko, he's still very young, man. He's 25, one of the youngest players. He's only playing professional Warcraft since March of 2016. His third offline appearance here at a Gold League tournament. How nervous is he still when he's on that stage?
We just had a chance to talk with Fly100 here in the little break, and Fly100, kind of echoing what you're saying here, says that Chaemiko has a tendency of playing stronger online. Fly is the complete opposite. Online, oftentimes, he is pretty disappointing. He doesn't look like one of the best orcs in the world at all, honestly, sometimes. But offline, when he shows up in force. And he has proven this here before at GCSs previously.
Yeah, he was the champion in the second edition of this in spring 2016. A very, very memorable final against 1-2-0 that he decided 3-1 in favor of him. And then he had this marvelous run that no one expected in the summer of 2018, exactly 1 year ago, when people thought going into the group stage, hey, Fly, okay, he's not that great, but he made it all the way into the grand final. Chaemiko bans Concealed Hills and Twisted Meadows. Fly decides to get rid of Northern Isles and Amazonia, leaving us with Last Refuge as the first pick. Chaemiko's pick is TS, and Fly wants to go for Echo Isles because there is a lot of claws on that map and only one shop.
Exactly. And here we see an unusual map making it through. Terraner Stand usually gets vetoed by pretty much all the orcs. This can be a hard map to play even with MK first, possibly. That hero there able to shine much more than on other maps, and MK has been the carry throughout so many of the human games recently. We'll see if we get to that. But we're starting off with LR, which is going to be a tough map for the human early on, but we'll see how Chaemiko plays this. Chaemiko in the past was really unpredictable in this matchup. He was actually the player who played Firelord tower rushes a lot more than anyone else. This is not really something we see so much anymore. What is he going to bring to the table now as our second match of the day begins? Fly versus Chaemiko. This should be much more close than our previous match. Who's going to meet Moon in the upper bracket in the next round tomorrow? It's going to be between China and Korea. Fly starting in the bottom left in the blue, and Chaemiko in the top right in the red.
Chaemiko had a crazy run in April when he was in the pro qualifier for this NetEase WGL, and he made it all the way into the finals, defeating on the way there Foggy, Infi, Focus, and 1-2-0. Like, what was up in April with that dude? We will see if he can carry that shape into the offline event. Fly, of course, once again pointed out that he was in grand finals before, and he is basically always here. This is the 8th Gold League, and Fly was here all the time, 6 times into the playoffs. Only once he was eliminated in the group stage, and that was in fall 2016. He also is a Super GCS champion of 2016, where it's about who's the best Chinese player of those Gold League matches. The top 4 get invited to one of the most prestigious tournaments here in China. Apart from that, apart from Gold Leagues, Fly's year is abysmal. that had to do, as Lin pointed out in the interview that we did with him, with the balance, of course. In 1.30, Orc suffered so hard from Night Elf. He only reached 2 playoffs. That was in the April Pro Qualifier and that was in the May Pro Qualifier. In all the non-Gold League tournaments, Yule Cup, Thunder and Fire, H&W Masters, people were just better. And again, this is the problem for Fly for so many years. Losing Blade Masters.
Yeah.
In situations where it's absolutely not necessary, in situations where he has an Invo Potion, a Town Portal, a Heal Potion or whatever, sometimes he's playing too risky. We will see. Is it Blade Master? Yes, it is. Will this history repeat once more? And will Chaemiko capitalize from that? We have an Archmage for the Korean human. A very rare breed, to say the least. We have seen great Korean undeads, great orcs with Lin, great night elves with Moon, obviously, but the human race not well represented in truth.
Fly starting off with a very aggressive opening here. No creeping, no shop. 1 borrow tech without a shop, meaning it is very, very fast indeed. And the Blade Master being aggressive right away. Trying to perhaps harass the AM, but actually going for the High Priest instead for a bit of experience here. And the first consumable for him. It's going to be the Sentry Wards. Still very nice, even after having been nerfed quite significantly in the latest patch. And Chaemiko, it's oftentimes in this matchup for humans early on about the level 3 AM. Whether you want to be aggressive towards the Orc's base or just secure your tier 2 creeping for the second hero, level 3 AM with a level 2 water elemental makes everything so much easier. So that's what you want to accomplish, usually early on if you can, and it's going to be up to the Orc to prevent this as best as he can.
And Fly does a good job so far. He has great coverage on the map, he has a Watcher Ward in the upper left, he was covering the middle with the Blade Master, and the Grunt was roaming in the bottom right side of things. So he knew exactly where Chaemiko is. He found him, he caught him, he chased him back. Only now a couple of footmen are making their way to the bottom left to maybe steal some experience. But Fly, again, seeing what's happening, there is Militia called, because that's already a little bit of desperation for Chaemiko, but it's also a little bit of a Houdini. Like, Fly is putting a lot of pressure on him and controlling him very well, but he's getting out of there with quite some nice ideas. But Fly, not getting the last hit, and that was so big.
That was so close. That was a split second to getting that, and that's a big deal. These Sentry Wards helping out Fly so much for all of this great vision, but still Chaemiko doing a good job being in 2 places at the same time, creeping in 2 places.
But here comes the punishment. First worker down, and the unlucky Ensnare from Murlocs onto that footman, trying to get himself denied, and it worked out. Blade Master only... Oh, actually, did it?
Was denied, yeah. Blade Master did not get that experience. Footies, though, all hurt from the southern creep as well. Makes it a little bit awkward now to engage, but the blade...
the block! We mentioned it before. Like,
is he really going to reveal himself? There's a cooldown on Windwalk, dude. Don't forget.
Yeah, that is absolutely not in favor of Fly, this little change that Blizzard did to Windwalk. That the cooldown is working differently than it was before. But okay, he survives. Chaemiko with a couple of losses, but still level 2.25, which is not great. But the inventory is... Wait, Fly double Beastery.
Whoa!
Double Beastery Shadowhunter?
That is extremely unusual.
Is it Wyvern? Or is it just Mass Raiders is the question now. Nice reveal here.
Yeah. Perfect timing right there. Should secure him the last hit, but Blade Master still willing to trade with those heal salves in his inventory. Shadowhunter is going to be out soon. Hex is going to be a great danger then to this AM. Will pick up the item. Almost looks a little greedy. He's even placing the sentry. Does he know the timing so well of his opponent's tech? This is looking a little scary.
Well, he can run away with boots, of course, if that Grunt doesn't get the block, which he is not. So Archmage safe. Healing constantly cancelled, which is also nice. Water Elemental putting in some damage. Blade Master should be safe as well. Oh boy! They both dash out a lot of damage here, and gotta be careful in the early stages of Tier 2. Fly now with the lead. We've seen the first Wyvern. This doesn't necessarily mean that Fly is going Wyvern all the way. Could be just a little distraction. Chaemiko knows what's coming with the tower, and that tower is so in time to deal with these Wyvern. But then Fly can still transition into Mass Raiders and try to play the lame game.
Shadowhunter getting in range of the Hex. How did this AM not get a healing potion? Here the Stormbolt to prevent some damage. Doesn't have to TP yet. Where's the Blade Master though? He's right
coming
there!
from the
He's right there!
Backstab and gets the first hero kill. Fly is back in this game if he ever was a little down. First hero kill is so big. Of course, there's still more Windwalk, so surround is useless. And now Chaemiko has to defend this with the Mountain King alone. Gets another kill as Fly. This aggressive SH play turns out so well for Fly.
Yeah, that was a big mistake by Chaemiko. Not waiting for the Priest heal, not building a power build shop, and doing neither of these things is risky, but I guess you can do it. But if you do, don't head out with your AM in first position. Like, send something else in front. But that was pretty sloppy, costing him the hero right there. Here comes the first Wind Rider. But thanks to the tower, can't really do too much other than stand above the trees. But I think Chaemiko doesn't know about this Wind Rider tech yet, does he?
Not sure. I don't know if he scouted something. I think not, because he was reliant on his wards a lot. Fly is transitioning into Raider Walker. As he sees there's nothing really to do. The workers are safe in tower range. The tower is there to protect the gold mine workers. So what can they really do? He's aware now that this is Wyvern. How much will he do against it though? And will the transition of Fly work? That's the question in the mid game.
AM is coming back perfectly in time to deal with his creep jack, as once again Fly is looking for aggression as he loves to do.
That damage against the casters now though. There's not too much anti-air. Of course, it's gonna be a water elemental very soon, but at the moment, Fly is dominating this and stealing experience and leveling up. It is not the normal Orc mid-game where you separate your Blade Master from the Shadow Hunter. No, they're creeping together, basically trapping Chaemiko in his own base.
The Ensnare here, posing a threat to the Wind Riders, but it's going to wear off in time. But what about the Shadow Hunter? Couldn't use the Heat Wave, and it's almost enough damage! Twice with the animation for the Heat Wave. Didn't have the time to actually pull off the spell. And that hero kill just came out of nowhere.
Absolutely. Like, the impact of the Shadow Hunter very early on, killing the Archmage. Now the impact of a Stormbolt. Both players not ready for the disable, as it seems, resulting in 2 kills. Of course, a lot more important for Fly to get the Archmage and keeping him on level 2, because there was absolutely no progress towards level 3. Now, Blacksmith going for a rifle.
And we can see the mid-game strength of LR now for the human. You can creep 3 medium-sized camps pretty well outside your main. We just saw the Merchant, now the Lab, and the Merc camp will be accessible after. With Militia, all of this is fairly easily doable. I hope the Blade Master doesn't die here.
Oh, Fly! Hellstone! Oh. Jesus Christ. God.
That's Fly
on the edge,
you.
man. Yeah, that is Fly in like 1 second description. Pretty crazy. Always living on the edge. Oftentimes falling from that high wire, but not today, at least not yet.
And yeah, rifles will be coming in. It's actually interesting.
I think it's gyros, by the way. I gotta correct myself there. We saw a workshop.
Oh yeah. True, actually. Very valuable. Just for the vision alone, and also in high numbers can fight the Wind Riders.
Grunt against the creeps. But a big mana potion, worth it. And stealing the items from Chaemiko's shop. Like that move as well. Who's still struggling with a level 3 MK, but he's getting there. But item-wise, it's a lot better for Fly. Blade Master coming in again. A little too late for the steal item.
So hard to creep this camp. Like, he has barely any damage, and it's magic immune. Didn't bring any militia over here. Now he has the detection, thanks to that gyro. But the Rock Golem will go to Fly, and he's going to get his sources as well.
Boy, there was a nice creep jack by Fly. Items 1. Oh, the Scourge Bone Chimes. Hello, 20% Vamp Aura. It's not that great for the Wyvern, of course, as they have range and being attacked by the gyros now, but also easily taken out. This is not looking good for Chaemiko, man. He's struggling hard.
Now come the militia. So late with their usage, but Chaemiko has been low lumber pretty much this entire mid-game, so it's not too easy to call them over and over. Another flying machine will be falling, and so far Fly hasn't lost anything over here, but slow is going to start to kick in. But now we have Spirit Link as well, making the units quite a bit more tanky as well. This Raider still getting away. Heat Wave after Heat Wave coming in. Greater mana there. Used on the Shadow Hunter, still has much more healing now left to use. But the Raider will fall in the end.
There's almost no anti-air anymore. Yes, casters, but they don't really do damage. The gyros have been diminished with focus fire from the Wyvern, and the casters are almost gone as well. Like, there's also no Water Elemental. Chaemiko has nothing to beat the Wyverns with. You can't Stormbolt all of them. And close to level 4-4 is Fly now, getting so many kills.
And here the Wind Riders are working out really well. If you're on even footing, if both players make a proper army without falling behind, the Wind Riders can have a tough time. But if you get the advantage, the snowball potential of these units is outstanding. And it seems like Fly might be taking this game now with being up by 25 supply here, only 31 left. For the human player, it's looking very tough. Now, though, fighting next to his main. He's going to have the backup of the shop, perhaps. But still, the issue remains. Like, where is his damage?
The shop is unfortunately on the other side of Fly's army. It's not that easy to get in range, and Chaemiko is losing caster after unit, one after the next, man. These volleys are so goddamn strong. Can consume the health stone. A little bit of disable against the blade. Consumes it now, but end snare, focus fire. How big are the crits? Not big enough. Town portal out to survive a little longer. Raider falls. Wyvern falls. Good kills for Chaemiko in the end, but he's down to ridiculous 22 supply.
Absolutely nothing, yeah. This is kind of looking like the double Gs, or can Chaemiko fashion some kind of miraculous comeback here? At 23, it looks rather unlikely.
He has such a good army composition now. He has the 3 Wyvern for single target damage against the casters. He has the Raiders against buildings. He has support in terms of the Shadow Hunter and Walkers to make the squishy Wyvern a lot more tanky with Spirit Link. I really like this. It's rare for orcs to find the sweet spot of Wyvern play. Like, how many do you build? Even if this was early countered by that tower, so usually you want to wreck some workers with it. That didn't happen. Fly still continued to build some, and this is so nice for him now.
Call to arms now being used. There's basically no income anymore. He is gonna get the Raider for this. But it's kind of an even gold exchange, honestly. He lost a lot of gold just doing this. Some experience, at least, I suppose. He's level 3-3 now, going up against 4-4.
And no shop anymore, like no clarities. Has to rely on the Brilliance Aura. Blade Master runs back for another speed scroll. Oh, mana potion even. And Fly just sitting comfortably at 50 supply.
Also inventory looking really scary for Chaemiko. No TP, no invul. With that inventory going out on the map against a Blade Master with many end snares is extremely scary. But Fly, for once, not trying to be aggressive, is going to creep up a little bit himself, finding
Unholy Aura.
Ooh, that's very nice.
Oh, the items here. Double Aura for Fly, the best ones you can get. Lifesteal, movement speed, and HP regen for this army. It's absolutely perfect.
Chaemiko is climbing back up in supply little by little, but all seems to be taking so long, and Fly is just creeping one big camp after the next, or at least the items. If he gets to 5-5, these heroes are gonna be so scary as well. On level 4 though, you have a heavy experience punish, so not that easy to creep up to level 5. Here he doesn't get the best one. The Medallion of Courage does help, but not much more than okay.
Archmage finally level 4. Mountain King level 3. We haven't seen a single clap, right? Maybe he decided to go for Bash as he saw the Wyvern. But now he could really need it to get some kills on Raiders and have additional slow.
It seems like he doesn't have... Oh, no, there it is. There was the Bash. Took a while. Ring of Regen. Ugh. In the late game, also not the greatest item.
2 Gloves of Haste, by the way, for Fly. His DPS is rising rapidly.
And he's gonna get double level 5 here. So close now.
Ooh. Yep. Also a lot of good items here for him, like Flute, Sobi Mask.
Kind of everything.
Yeah, basically everything.
The belt. Okay.
And this one because he has it already.
And that is level 5 critical strike, and it's the old crit as well. So we're gonna have the damage multiplier. He doesn't have the most bonus damage actually, but still the Kodo is gonna help out.
Yeah, that double level 5 is one of the sickest in the entire game.
Yeah.
Equal to Coil Nova level 3 and to whatever, Holy Light Stormbolt level 3 or so. It's crazy how much this provides.
So now Fly, here's an upkeep. He's got his levels. Only thing he's missing is heal scrolls and invuls. He's got those as well, actually, as a health stone. It's going to be hard for this Blade Master to die, which is good for Fly.
Now we get flag cannon upgrades available on tier 2 since patch 1.30. But will this help him against only 3 Wyvern? I don't think so. Chaemiko close to 50. Fly is breaking upkeep, and now comes the push. We have 1 heal scroll, a mana potion, an invo potion, and as we mentioned before, the double level 5. Chaemiko needs a miracle.
Invis Water Elemental scouting things out. I guess the base sees the army anyways. Alright, here we go. Militia coming in to save the day, hopefully. The first Wind Rider dies immediately. Nice focus fire right there. Towers coming up on the high ground. That's pretty cool. It's going to take a while, though, until they are ready. But actually, Chaemiko's taking a surprisingly good fight here, being down heavily in supply. Speed Scroll, repositioning, Blade Master chasing for the kills, but good micro here by Chaemiko, saving the breakers into the back. So far, taking a great engagement over here. Shadowhunter, heal wave after heal wave coming in, but the Raiders are still dying. We only have a couple left, but there you can see the level 3 heal wave, how strong it is.
What happened to all the gyrocopters, man? He had a mass of them, and the Wyvern is still not dead. Invis, but still ensnared, gets out, Dispel, Invis again. So the Mountain King can be saved. He used a lot of his mana already for the early Stormbolt, and here we go, wants to get rid of the next Raider to diminish the number of ensnares, but the heal wave is just too strong, and he sees it as well. Fly taking map number 1.
Well done there with the unusual Wind Rider follow-up, but it looked really strong right there, but you have to remember what happened in the early game. If you get an advantage with Wind Riders, it can oftentimes or always be a good tier 2 transition, but he was given this AM kill. Like, this was just the massive mistake by Chaemiko that you can't afford to do. Of course, he didn't get the heal pot, he didn't wait for the priest, that is all something that happened, but I think the bigger story here is he was trading with the AM, he was trading hits with the Blade Master, and you're not supposed to do that in the early game. If you have a Shadow Priest, maybe, but even then it's probably not the best idea. He was just a little too greedy out on the map, he really wanted to get those sentry wards, wanted to place them as well. That cost him too many hit points, and cost him the hero, and cost him all control in the mid game.
And especially since he had boots. Like, this surprised me a lot that he stayed so close to the Blade Master. Usually you want the boots to get away from the Blade Master and not take these hits, as you mentioned. But, you know, okay, let's get a little closer, but the Icarus Syndrome stroke and Chaemiko losing that hero, that was key. I mean, coming back from a first hero kill in the first 10 minutes is super hard, especially when there wasn't too much experience on the Archmage anyway. He was level 2, so it costed a little more and took some more time to get him back. Yeah, but yeah, that was hard. But I'm still amazed by Fly, how well he executed this Wyvern play.
Yeah, that was well done. But I feel like Chaemiko gave away a great chance here. He had a decent position in this game, he had his level 2, and then on tier 2 or shortly before, you want to spam those militia, call them over and over, and just creep the camps. Creep 1 merchant, perhaps even 2 merchants if you're level 3 AM, and then go to the lab, go to the merc camp, militia after militia usage. But somehow he always was low lumber. Normally we see the humans going for the double sanctum, and then they have plenty of lumber actually to call militia over and over. Something may have gone wrong there. Was that the Wind Rider play? Perhaps it was. And we have apparently a bit of technical difficulties here. Admin's trying to help out Fly. Hopefully we can resolve that quickly. Remaining map now, Terrana Stand is going to be the pick for Chaemiko, which
really rare to see.
Absolutely. Normally the orcs veto this, but Fly says it's okay. It's not that bad.
There are quite a few claws. Like, you can pimp the Blade Master if you get the time. It's certainly a map where you will... Well, will you be... Is there a potential to be Tower Rush? I mean, you can always play a Tower Rush as a human, but the bases are so far away from each other.
It's such a long distance.
Yeah. So maybe he keeps it in because he doesn't want to be rushed, or he knows that Chaemiko is really strong with the Firelord pushes, and he wants to play that map and not a smaller one.
Now, Firelord Tower Rush was a big part of the meta a while ago, but that is a few years now.
Well, Chaemiko still loves it.
Does he still play it regularly? All right. Perhaps a little bit like Romantic, having his own style, some old school style that doesn't get played much anymore, and with that can be hard to deal with as opponents may not have the most practice against it. But Terrana Stand isn't the greatest Tower Rush map, as we mentioned, so just such massive distances between the two bases. and is actually really good for fast expansions. Is a good map for MK first. Is that something that Chaemiko has in his repertoire? We're gonna see. It's gonna be a safe level 2 AM as well, and should honestly be a really easy level 3 Archmage also. There's so many small camps across the map. Extremely hard to cover them all for the Orc.
So, will we see the first 3-mapper of today? We had one yesterday with 1-0 versus Lawlight. Chaemiko has to strike back, or he finds himself in the lower bracket semi-final against Hunter. Winners, Chaemiko from Korea versus Rope Warrior Fly on Terrana Stand. Let's go! China, already 3 players in the winner bracket finals with InfiTH and 1-0. Fly could be the next one. Korea so far only Focus and Moon, of course, 2 players there. The Western representatives at the moment all in the lower bracket, but the best one is still coming up in the next game here today. It's going to be time for Happy versus Lin after this series right here. But alright, Terrana Stand, Chaemiko in the bottom right, and Fly in the upper left.
Terrana Stand, one of the best maps for human, probably the best maps for human in pretty much any matchup. You can make great usage of militia creeping here early on with so many creeps being medium armor, so the militia can take him out quickly. And the Merc Camp. The humans love the Merc Camp. Healing early on is really hard to come by. The Shadow Priest helps you out with that, and also Dispel against many races and heroes is very powerful. It is going to be the Archmage first. MK first is a hero choice here that is viable, but won't be the case for Chaemiko. What's he going to play with this though? This could be one base. This could still be an expansion. And the creep route also is going to be interesting to watch. What's the first hero choice here for Fly? Must be the Blade Master, I guess, with the shop coming up already. It's a fast shop, isn't it? I think it's a shop before barracks to get those salves right away, to move onto the map and look for some claws right away.
These 2 players, by the way, met in the May qualifier of Netties in the round of 16 Group D. Chaemiko winning 1 game there, 2-0 in the winner bracket semi-final. Fly got his revenge, though, in the lower bracket finals with 2-1. That didn't go too well for Chaemiko. They're playing a Paladin on Echo Isles. Weird decision. We see Fly's first person. Not too much going on, obviously. But yeah, no Fastier plays anymore. No Shadow Hunter first. Fly never was the Shadow Hunter first, dude. It was more of a Korean thing, I guess. Instant expansion.
Level 1 instant expo. Of course, when you play the 1 borrow tech, you can't afford to scout early on with the peon, as then it doesn't make sense. You need the lumber to have the fast tech. So there's no information for this about this for Fly, so he cannot punish this. He's creeping in the middle instead, and Chaemiko is, in quotes, getting away with this, getting level 2. And doesn't have to be an expansion, but looks like an expansion so far.
Fly also not sending a grunt to the bottom. He's just helping creeping. So far does it perfectly, not slowed down. Circuit also a nice item for Fly to start things with. But yeah, this is time where he's not distracting, not pressuring Chaemiko, who finds his level 2. Ring of Protection +4, actually. A pretty good item against this Archmage, so yep, for, early hero kill will most likely not happen.
It's going to be nice for the AM in the early, and on tier 2, if it should be an MK, it's going to be really good for that second hero tank as well. Blade Master coming in, looking for harass. How many kills can he get? Oh, that's a wall off actually, right? Wow, that lumber mill placement is pretty cool. Protecting these peasants. I don't think he has enough repair to keep it up, or does he? There's not enough damage. Damn!
Wow.
This is a really cool build by Chaemiko.
Haven't seen this before, I think. The early lumber mill there. Lots of saves, and now he's pretty much protected.
Wow, that's an outstanding early for Chaemiko. Going for the instant expansion and not even losing a single peasant.
Yeah. We see Chaemiko's first person in the upper left, by the way. He changed his setup compared to half and 1 year ago a lot. Back then he was playing with like the smallest window possible and microing like crazy. He's playing on full screen now, so finally recognized that there's more vision might be a good idea.
Blade Master here trying to get his own level 2. As was pointed out by the observer here a moment ago, there's plenty of holes in the human main, which the Blade Master could absolutely exploit. But seems like Fly didn't see that just yet. Pick up a Staff of Teleportation, harass the militia, diminish the income, harass the economy significantly with that, and then staff across, heal up again, and perhaps creep up yourself. So What is Fly's game plan now? He is going up against an expansion which was not harassed in the slightest. Can he still counter-expand? Or does he have to go for an all-in push now on tier 2?
Shadowhunter second for sure. Yeah, we'll see. Is he going Wyvern again to distract, to force Chaemiko into more towers to make him spend the gold? That could be one way.
Looks like Chaemiko's already... He was looking for the counter expansion, but that's a little too early. We're going to the Burrows now instead with the level 2 Water Elementals. And how many footies did he bring? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's quite a bit of damage. Fortunately, though, for the Orc, only one Water Elemental. So far, not enough mana just yet for the second one, but the repair is actually not sufficient. And here you can see the greed of the Orcs telling the TP, getting punished.
Yeah, there's not too much Fly is doing at the moment. Yes, he is harassing a little bit with the Berserker, but he's countered by that tower now. Blade Master finally arrives home with the second burrow. It's not looking too good for that one either. Archmage should have another Water Elemental. There we go. But Hex is also available, so he can get rid of that one and diminish the damage. But it's okay. Fly is stuck at 31 supply, I'm sorry. This will take forever to get the next burrows up, forces more resources, like 160 gold out of Fly. He wants the Raiders, he wants the Walkers, but can only go for upgrade at the moment. And Chaemiko, with that expansion in the back, is getting his tech now. It will take some time, but at least it prevents a big push early tier 2, because Fly can't go to 50 supply or something, which he would absolutely need.
Yeah, precisely. Fly, with getting his tier 2 buildings and his 50 supply or close to it, would have absolute map control, and then even a push towards main/expansion could have been scary, but Chaemiko with a smart play, once again being obnoxious. If this costs the AM a TP, this distraction, it's easily worth it. Cancelling another burrow. Fly is going for the counter expansion now, but that's gonna take so long, and there's no guarantee that it's not gonna be cancelled either.
Yeah, but I think it's buying time. I mean, he has to spend some resources anyway, or wants to spend some resources anyway, and why not build this? Either it comes through and it's nice, or... Oh, keep it up. Hex here. Is it enough damage if he's lucky with some crits? Maybe, but he is actually not. Trying to get in range once more for the town portal. To finish my thought here, either it finishes or it distracts from the main.
Siege. A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, that's certainly true. But even if it finishes, it gives a perfect window of opportunity to look for the push. You know, when the expansion is finished, when it hasn't paid off yet, when it can't be cancelled, Chaemiko may already be sitting at a scary amount of units at high supply. AM hiding in the main here, but he is tier 2. Potions are available. He shouldn't be in trouble. What is the second hero of choice here, I wonder? Is it going to be the MK? And I thought we were going to see rifles as well. We've been seeing them more and more in this matchup from the humans.
Especially TA loves rifles.
Yeah. But Chaemiko going... no, there's the blacksmith. Okay, didn't see that earlier. Alright, there's the blacksmith. This should be rifles. No longer triple sanctum playing here.
Yeah, it's quite sad, actually. I was a big fan, but mostly on Echo Isles, and that's still in the pool, so we'll see. Totem, finally. Oi, that took forever. But yeah, rifle casters with a Mountain King, pretty standard, but of course a lot easier to execute now for Chaemiko, as he has that level 3 Archmage earlier, he got that expansion running, Fly has no army basically.
Yeah, Fly's gonna have, it's gonna be behind in supply here in army for a long time. The heroes need to carry for him. Blade Master, he's level 3. With double rings, he's really tanky.
Yeah, well, that's about
but
it.
He doesn't have that much damage. The Shadowhunter needs to get level 3 ASAP as well. And he's gonna get that, and the Expo does come through.
Yeah.
But Chaemiko can go up to 70 here in the blink of an eye.
Shadowhunter Lightning Shield creep. Fly has to pay attention to this now. That means maybe not too much Blade Master control at the moment. But yeah, he's getting that level 3. He moves away, gets the Scroll of the Beast. There's no Dispel for Fly yet, for Chaemiko yet. So it could come in handy. But I really like Chaemiko's SimCity, by the way. Protecting the expansion so well, as you can see right here with all the farms and the blacksmith, and in the very early stages protecting the peasant line with a lumber mill. Even if Fly goes a lot of raiders, it's not going to be easy to tear down that expansion, and yeah, that's smart.
Fly looking for the creep drag, realizing Chaemiko is going to creep the bottom left gold mine. Blade Master already scouting things out, and the Shadowhunter is coming in. Last hit goes to the human, but actually item grabbed up by the Blade Master. It is more tankiness, more survivability for him with the Ankh. And forces that TP and gets a Priest as well.
Okay, Fly, slowly but steady, fighting his way back, and Chaemiko has to kill a farm because he was panicking a little and trapped himself. This will keep him stuck at 60. More time for Fly to catch up in supply. A little bit of an harassment here is annoying, is distracting, but that's about it. Not the biggest impact on the economy.
This creep deck was actually so nice because it keeps the MK from creeping. If he had the time to creep the bottom left of the map, perhaps he could have gotten level 3, but that was completely denied. And now it's actually Chaemiko moving out without a TP and without an invul. That's always scary.
Yeah, and Fly has basically everything he needs. Heal scroll, invul, could use a little mana potion or something, but looks okay. And there's no push towards the expansion. He catches him before, distracting and postponing the fight at his own second gold mine. Catching a Sorceress right away. Blade Master's doing some damage. Not really disabled here. Militia is coming in. This looks decent for Fly.
But more and more reinforcements for Chaemiko are arriving. We still don't have that much of an army. Stormbolt coming in.
Classic Fly! He
Ankh.
has the Ankh, of course. But is that position really necessary?
Wait.
It is a lot of time. He's
Use the
losing
grunt as
more
well.
and more. Next Stormbolt should result in the next kill as Heal Wave was just used. Fly, everything is orange and red. Raider down, Walker down. Can he catch the next Raider? He's trying to disable this with an End Snare. Blade Master's falling to 50% as well. Trying to run away. So many Militia, by the way, by Chaemiko. It's like 10 or so.
And Fly falling for one of the oldest tricks in the book. You think you're having a good start to the fight, but then slow kicks in. And he didn't bring a scroll of speed. That's not allowed to happen, Fly. And now he's losing so many units. Here the slow actually wears off. This Raider might be fine, but the Berserker doesn't seem to be. And Chaemiko, was he just given this game? Was he just given a freebie?
Looks definitely good for him, man. Level up for the Mountain King, more mana, almost another Stormbolt. That was the last bit of mana for the Shadow Hunter, so no more Heal Wave. Can he trap that Blade Master? He has no mana as well. It's getting close. I guess he can get out. Oh, forced to the Invul Potion before.
The breaker feedback there made it so he couldn't
Yep.
to Windwalk, but
now he can. With the Invul Potion, he can.
that's the Invul gone though. But there should be another one ready in the shop. Flyman, he threw away so many units. And he's so rich as well. He wasn't producing. Oh man, Fly.
And this is the signature close to 70 supply human push. We see a tower in the back, the front line harassing the peons, and the rest doing damage to that Great Hall. Can Fly slap back once more? He has double heal scroll and a mana potion and another invul. Archmage level 4 though, so much mana now.
Hero still kind of exposed, but the shop in the back is going to help out. Heal pots could be available. Mana pots as well.
Wonder if he has Invest by now. Mass Mercs by Fly. He knows he has to hold now. And he's getting quite a few kills in the beginning of this, but no mining anymore. Chaemiko took that all out.
This does not look like 65 supply. This looks like less from the human side. But he's fighting with the help of the shop now. Shadowhunter with another Heal Wave. Clap coming in. Was pretty nice, but only level 1 Clap. MK is a very strong hero, but only once he hits level 3 and upward. And Fly is on the way forward, seemingly able to defend his expansion after all. But this fight is far from over. Blade Master once again dropping low, has to be careful, but with the invul and the heal scroll seems to be fine.
Fly dropping some items there before the mana potion. That took some attention that he can't use to micro in the fight. Raider's about to drop. Blade Master still taking care of this, but there's still a big front line of the caster's army in the back. Looks so good. Good clap in the front row, but Fly is losing more. Ooh, clutch heal wave, but will it help this grunt survive? I doubt it. This range army, untouched.
MK, that was so close. He almost was surrounded. He would have died right there had that surround been stuck. Blade Master also dropping low, but still the invul in his inventory. Fly moving forward.
There is a potion for this Mountain King, is healthy again. Raiders are falling. There's more mana for the Archmage to get more summons, and the Shadow Hunter is again almost completely dry. Maybe one more heal wave and then that's it.
Spiritling being dispelled, being stolen, Disenchants coming in against the Watch Elementals as well, but they're still standing. Blade dropping lower, eating the Stormbolt. Does he have the time for the invul? Last second!
Whoa.
He gets it off on 50 HP, but has to back it up now. The Shadow Hunter out of mana. When you don't have healing anymore, you have to run.
Chaemiko opens the floodgates to once again attack the expansion. I hope for Fly that he rebuilt the peasants, but it's only 4 of them. This is not looking good. Ivory towers being placed to continue to attack the peons all the time, and Fly has to heal up, has to lick his wounds. He's in no fighting shape at all. Still above upkeep, still a strong blade, 4/4 hero, still a heal scroll. This game is not over yet, but Fly has to stall some time.
I feel like Fly needs a mana potion, but he was so rich for so long. Now all the money is gone. He doesn't have that much gold anymore. However, the army for Chaemiko isn't that big either. 60 supply, yes, but a lot of that is peasants, remember. Blade Master in the front line once again. Needs a Stormbolt one more time, but there is going to be the heal wave. But no invul anymore. No invul anymore.
There's no mana.
The block!
It's getting blocked. So well done by Chaemiko. Damage dealer first hero down. Clap to celebrate the things, and the walkers are taking so much damage. Ethereal form can't help them because of all the casters. Tower is up. Okay, another clap to celebrate. Walkers are falling left, right, and center. Chaemiko dominating this fight. Mauler falling. One raider after the other gone. The damage is still there. The slow is still there. I think even Invis is there, and Fly is losing his entire army. And the Blade Master is not being bought back from the tavern. The Shadow Hunter is in a world of trouble, and this smells like the 1/1. Oh, level up actually saves him for now.
But now stuck in the back, doesn't
Yeah.
have healing anymore, no
Nope.
mana. And when the Blade Master is dead, you can just feel the damage dropping into oblivion. It's so bad. Stormbolt, that's the kill. GG! And Chaemiko equalizes, but had to work hard for this win.
He had some really cool ideas in this game. The Lumber Mill early, the SimCity, in general, like playing an expansion on Terranars is not the most uncommon thing, but in this matchup it really is. So that was unusual. This was something else. This is what Chaemiko is known for, not playing the TH Infi standard that we've seen.
In the mid game, though, this was good by Fly. He was struggling in the main, getting the Burrow killed. But the counter expansion did work out. Chaemiko wasn't in a position to cancel it, and the Creep Jack. That changed everything. If this MK gets to creep for free, gets to level 3 easily, this is going to be a much scarier push that probably breaks him pretty easily. But he prevented that from happening. He was piercing into these reinforcement points. And if at the bridge, at the human bridge, at the Merc camp, if he has a scroll of speed there, he saves so many of his units, he's going to be in a much better position.
That was the key fight. I feel like in a lot of these games here at WGL, we have this one key fight that starts the snowball, and this was absolutely it. By having a good start, then not the best position, and then this mass militia came in. 10 of them. And that was just way too much mass. He couldn't eat it all. And as you said, he couldn't run away against all the slow.
Yeah.
So, interesting series here between the two. I'm looking forward to match number 3. It's gonna be on Fly's map, Echo Isles, one of the signature Orc Blade Master maps.
But if Fly polishes his game a little, there were a few mistakes in that last one, not bringing a scroll of speed, being way too late with the production rounds as well, not making use of the Merc camp. But still, other than that, as far as fight execution goes, and also the general feeling of the map, looking for creepjacks and such, that was looking pretty promising. So Fly is perhaps not at 100%, but it's a good percentage today.
He's there. It's always hard to get into a tournament, and the early performances are rarely the best in a lengthy tournament like this that goes for 10 days. I am actually surprised to see Fly in a shape like this. I casted quite a few games of his going into this tournament, and I thought, oh boy, if he's in that shape here at WGL, he's getting stomped. But when it's offline, Fly is oftentimes there. Deciding map is Fly's map. Who's gonna join Moon in the winner bracket final, and who's gonna drop to Hunter into the lower bracket semifinal? Winners Chaemiko versus Rogue Warrior Fly. The decision. Let's go.
And this map is certainly gonna be a little bit Orc favored. We go to Echo Isles. One of the Blade Master's dream maps, plenty of claws to be found, even more to be purchased from the marketplace. And the Blade Master must be the hero of choice here. We have seen Orc players experimenting with Farseer quite a lot against humans previously, but very much so doubt we're going to be seeing anything else than the Blade here.
Yeah, me too. I could see a player like Focus do something else now and play the Farseer just because it's not standard. But Fly, I know he's married and stuff, but I think his one real love is the Blade Master. Since he was playing for Mousesports back in the day, like 2006/7, that was his hero. I was shocked when, with the critical strike nerf, he was experimenting with that Farseer. That didn't go too well for Fly. But there's no barracks.
He's actually going to play
Am
Farseer.
I right with my do something different because it's not expected theory crafting?
Fly is playing Farseer on Echo Isles.
Well, as I oftentimes say, with his Farseer build,
Wow.
at least he can't lose the Blade Master easy. Against an Archmage. This could have been a Mountain King map, but it's not. So, this is interesting. I think this is not something that Chaemiko will expect, because in the before-mentioned May qualifier, Fly was playing Blade Master on all 5 maps. And they played Echo Isles twice.
Yeah. Farseer, by the way, is by no means bad on this map. You can harass the peasants really well. You can reduce the lumber income. You can get big tech advantage on towards tier 2. But it's so good for the Blade Master. This is why we're definitely expecting him in most cases here. But here comes the curveball. Here comes the Farseer. But one footy scout being sent out already. Chaemiko is actually going to learn about this pretty quickly. He's going to still be able to creep the 2 green camps outside his base very easily with the AM, if that is the creep route, that is the standard creep route. We've been seeing some Merc camp creeps first recently as well, but that's not the case. That would have opened up even more harassment potential towards the main, but this Farseer early on, I'm not sure how much you can do really.
Chaemiko saw this with the Scout Footman. He's creeping or finishing this camp before the Farseer arrives. So half a level ahead, it's now summon versus summon. This is very old school Orc versus human. Shout out to Rotterdam, who of course played this a lot in the past. He's not closing these little gaps to keep the wolves out of the base. The Arcane Tower does need some time. Chaemiko needs good micro and multitasking now to save all the workers and put pressure on the Farseer.
Humans are sometimes greedy against this Farseer play, not going for the tower before the tech, wanting to save all the lumber, teching, and then going for the tower. But Chaemiko didn't. Chaemiko went for the tower first, so the Arcane is going to be done in a moment, and then it's going to be very tough for these wolves to achieve much. But one peasant is very hurt. Perhaps he can look for that kill, but Chaemiko is also really good at quickly reacting. Look at this. Wolves come into the main. They're already in militia form, already running away.
Nice. This goes, of course, into lumber. So the tier 2 of Chaemiko will most likely be a little bit delayed when it comes to Sanctums. But that should be fine. Fly on the other side is most likely teching as fast as it gets in this game. Well, not as fast as it gets, but almost. And then what? Wyvern again? It worked out so well on Last Refuge. It is absolutely doable on Echo Isles. And what he does, of course, is preventing an expansion. That was key to victory for Chaemiko to establish that very early on. Echo Isles for Human, one of the easiest expansion maps, so maybe that's the thought process of Fly as well. Just not let him get to 2 gold mines.
A player's forces are under attack.
That would have been utterly impossible, of course, against the Farseer first harassment opening. Farseer now far behind in experience. He's actually sitting at 0. Not a single kill so far. Wants to prevent level 3 though, AM though, if he can help it. Really scary if the AM gets to those level 2 water elementals, 5 footies, hits your base, and suddenly the tier 2 advantage doesn't do anything because you just lose the tier 2 buildings, and as the human forces the cancellations. Farseer now dropping low though, will have to back up sooner rather than later. His tier 2 is about to finish, and what are we gonna see? No Wind Riders, we're gonna have Raider Walker after all.
Huh. Then it must be a TC second, right?
Attack.
So...
Yeah, I think so. Good old Chainwave combo is gonna be the idea here, I suppose.
Well, we also have seen Stomp and Chain Lightning.
True. But that oftentimes was played with Shaman, with Lightning Shield, with Wind Riders, but could also be the case here with the Walkers. At the hero, at the tavern. Is it going to be Alchemist time? I guess it is. This is the most likely choice if you're going for a neutral hero as the human. And this is definitely looking like that. We saw that a lot in 1.30 when first the TC and Farseer were getting played a lot again, but then humans more recently in the last couple of months have been playing MK second a lot again. It's just such a strong hero in the late game, and actually is the Mountain King. I thought he was going to go for the Alchemist there, hanging around the tavern. Perhaps a bit of a fake play. I don't know. Here comes TC now, bringing some heal salves. No Scroll of Speed, but he still has the one, I guess, from earlier.
Very interesting series between these two players. None game is like the other.
A player's
No
forces are
double
under
Wyvern play, no double expansion play. They take away from their opponent what makes them strong in the winning game. I really like that. Ensnare's almost finished. Will take a little bit of time. They share the unique spots in the north and in the south. Rushing up to level 3. Well, rushing is the wrong word for the Farseer. Needs Chain Lightning. And Chaemiko needs Heal Scrolls. Desperately. Wolf Scouting for Fly is good, and he might be able to do some damage here.
Heal Scrolls always a key item in this matchup, both Warnham and on maps like Echo Isles and Northern Isles. It's very important not to lose map control, to be in the center of the map, because there's only one shop and only one player can get those Heal Scrolls. The first one becomes available upon daytime, upon the next daytime, which is about 2 minutes away maybe. So you want to make sure you're not too far away from the merchant. Stormbolt coming in, going for the TC right away, going to be forced into the heal pot already, which is going to be a costly loss.
Shockwave also misses the Footman. Gets the kills now, but on the cost of a Grunt.
Militia already being called. They were called early.
There's a Stormbolt. Can he force the Town Portal or even get the kill?
You get the Grunt. That's the surefire kill. Yeah. We'll pick up that one. That's the second Grunt killed already. The third one almost getting surrounded right there. Oh, that was a big Shockwave. Only level 1 though, not that much damage, but now we have a Raider coming out. Slow hitting the TC, and Snare finds the Sorceress, definitely the most valuable target right there. Sorceress will be lost. But one Sorceress traded for 2 Grunts. That's good. Some footies may have fallen as well, but you want to rotate them out anyways.
Okay, where does this game go now? I love how Fly is keeping the Archmage from 3. Even 7 minutes 30 into this game. Gets another kill here. Feels like the trades always go in favor of Fly.
Yeah, actually, there's a 10 supply advantage, which seems weird. It's not like he got that many kills. He actually just lost 2 Grunts. But Militia called once again. They are still very strong here. Surround on the TC. He's got it! And there's no Spirit Link. It's coming in now. He fights his way out.
That was pretty close, though. This should be a good position for Chaemiko in the end if the Murlocs continue to block.
Slow was on autocast. He used 3 slows on the Murlocs, so now lots of the Orc army is in fact not slowed. Militia going back, Peasants rather going back to the main, gonna be ready for Militia call again in a moment. Fly wants to trade here before the Militia are actually here. One Stormbolt is ready. Does he want to aim for the TC once again? I think he's a little too high HP. Speed Scroll moving forward, looking for more kills. Level 3 with that now for the TC for the level 2 Shockwave. Can he line it up perfectly against the Militia? Hell yeah! They're all extremely hurt now in the back. Have to be careful not to die too easily. One more Grunt will be falling, but Fly, did he overextend again? He again doesn't have a Scroll of Speed, but he has a TP.
Never do the same mistake twice. He's surgically erasing the casters from the backline, but on the cost of 1 or 2 Raiders. Nice micro here. Can this Archmage chase? Wow! That morph into Ethereal
But
Form.
the
We see
surround!
the surround again! Chaemiko and the surround's absolutely crazy. Can he swap the Town Portal? Yes, he can. Counter focus on the Farseer. Is there enough damage with the Stormbolt? Maybe. Nope. Just getting out alive, and the game continues. 37 versus 37 supply. 2 and 3 heroes. Oh boy, is this game close.
Once again, feels like a bit of an overextension though. However, it was more experience. It was more kills, more experience for this TC. Is now level 3. But the Farseer, he is the big weakness of this army late game. He scales not very well at all, whereas the AM is pretty good and the MK is outstanding. Who is gathering up more experience here himself, getting close to level 3.
Yeah, I do agree with that statement, except if you get a high-level Farseer yourself and are able to control the shop. If Chaemiko is encountering mass AoE with Shockwave and Storm and Chain Lightning, and the heal scrolls go to Fly, as the first one does now, Fly can win these fights against the squishy casters.
That was actually a big mistake. Now that you say it, it becomes obvious to me. After the TP was forced, the AM needed to run to the shop immediately. Run there, get the heal scrolls. He didn't do that. So because of that, the heal scroll goes to the TC. There may still be a second heal scroll in there available at this point. I'm not quite sure. But the AM should have run over there definitely. Because it's absolutely true. He needs those scrolls.
So creeping continues. This should be level 2 Chain Lightning in combination with level 2 Shockwave. So big question. Did he get a heal scroll? Yes, he did. At least he has one. So it comes down to the mana of the Orc, and we see a mana potion on that TC. Fly, of course, having so much experience in shockwaves into squishy units, thinking back of years and years and years of Orc versus Night Elf.
Continuing to creep both players. Now, pretty aggressive position here, actually, by Chaemiko.
Yeah.
Creeping up the natural, finding the ring, which is actually really good for the Mountain King. And looking for more experience on the AM as well. Level 4 for the level 2 Brilliance is very good. So is the level 2 Endurance that the TC just picked up here. The item, Ring of Regen, is rather negligible in the late game, but at least a bit of healing. Healing is an issue for both players. Both need it badly. So again, the heal scrolls, absolute key in this late game.
Fly group stages against Korean humans, man. Even last time, WGL Winter, it was the deciding match against Sok. It was so close, and this repeats here once again.
AM very far forward, a bit out of position, but there's no stomp, there's no hex. Perhaps he can just walk out of there. He's spirit linked up. He's actually kind of tanky, and he gets
And snared
almost
again,
down.
speed scroll by Fly, still aiming for that Archmage, forced into a town portal, no AoE used at all. Okay, there we go. Did the speed scroll, the shockwave hit? I'm not actually sure if it did. No, nice dodge.
Yeah.
But healing is running through anyway.
Same mistake by Chaemiko again. If you have no vision on the map, if you don't know where your opponent is, you're not supposed to lead with the Archmage. Lead with the Breakers. And even if there's no Blade Master or Hex, you can still run into an Ensnare trap and lose map control, or lose positioning, I should rather say, on the map, and lose the next heal scroll, because look at the Farseer's inventory, boom, there we go, second scroll of
Was
healing.
about to say the same. 12 minutes in, second heal scroll for Fly. Chaemiko is a little short on gold. No one really wants to break upkeep at the moment. Both are ready for it though. And Chaemiko even pulls the militia trying to contest this shop. Is there a second one now? I doubt it. We have a mana potion on the Mountain King. Nice. The second heroes will bring the damage. It's very similar to both armies.
He needs an invul, right? Invul on the MK? Yeah, there we go.
It's still only one heal scroll.
Can creep up to level 4 AM if he wants. In the bottom left here with the Murlocs. Expansion coming for Fly. Wow. That's not something we see every day. A wolf by... he stole it. Okay, I was like, what? Of course, control magic.
Magic is available at tier 2 now. Got a little red hair dye in. Is a little more costly now with patch 1.31 after the initial change in 1.30.4.
I like the Invis Water Elemental. Looking for a backstab. He's in the corner now. In the bottom left is Chaemiko creeping that camp. Could be dangerous if he gets jacked, because he didn't bring a TP over here. But he saw his opponent's whereabouts, so he's safe to creep this now, and that is going to be level 4 AM, and a fairly big item drop.
Yeah, good
Pendant of Energy is the dream.
We don't know what it is. Okay, Parrot the Vitality. Also not too bad, but not what he wanted. Good point, actually. None of the players have town portals anymore. And Chaemiko was under a lot of pressure with these 2 Ensnares in a row. And he has to attack this expansion sooner or later. This Water Elemental will not be enough damage as it's expiring soon. Oh, he sends the next one. But, oh man, is this reminiscent of Fly versus Infi or what? PGL Finals. A legendary game on Turtle Rock. What was I about to say? Yeah, Chaemiko has no TP, Fly neither, but he has 2 speed scrolls to get out of dicey situations. Chaemiko has to play this so carefully now to pick only the fights that he wants and where he has the better position. The control magic again.
2 wolves for not quite free, but not too expensive either. Oh, the J-Wave! Beautiful!
What kill! Only against militia, but these reinforcements will not be able to be used in the fights. The meat shield is a lot weaker. Clap coming in, everything is low. Shockwave for this priest gets the kill and TP out now. Fly actually got one backup TP, losing the Raider in the end. but quite an equal fight there. The expansion will finish, even if it's super damaged.
Yeah, really good trade there. The Raider was almost saved, but not quite.
Man, Chaemiko, this time he's running to the shop. This time he has 800 gold to get the items there, and Fly must be ready to defend his expansion. Oh, actually, he has to kill this water elemental.
Oh man, it's so close.
And then Chaemiko will storm over to the Great Hall and try to kill it, or he can't expand himself, right? 2 heal scrolls now. We're about to finish this game, ladies and gentlemen.
Chaemiko only at 55, but all of his peasants on lumber died earlier, so this is like pure army almost.
Yeah, and Fly 61 with 2 gold mines running. Is there reinforcement still in production? I do think so. Mana looks good for all of them. How good will the chain waves hit?
Invis MK might come in as a bit of a surprise with the first clap, the first of many most likely. But 2 heal scrolls still available. The first Raider didn't want to pop the heal scroll just for the 1 Raider, I guess. That one gets taken out. 1 Grunt on the other side of the battle, also extremely low. These claps, though, are dealing insane damage. And the first chain wave combo wasn't even that painful.
I agree. Switching the focus now to this Mountain King, trying to trigger the potions, the consumables, the TC. Oh! This one was nice, but the heal scroll. Perfect timing between the shockwave and the chain lightning, healing up everything again. He needs another one, but there's almost no mana anymore. Using the potion now. The clap was absolutely insane. Epicenter for Chaemiko. Shockwave hits the backline once again, but no follow-up damage. Second, its heal scroll used. The game on the verge of being decided here. Fly is on the back heel, losing 2 Raiders, almost slow kicking in. The Endurance R level 2 is great, but the stumble is greater, and Fly is losing the TC. This looks like the end for the Chinese. Chaemiko was struggling hard in game number 1, but Terraner's stand was great, and this push on Echo Isles hit him like a truck. The expansion did finish, but did not pay off at all. And all that gold that Fly invested into economy went into army and items, and Chaemiko prevails. The breakers in the peon line. Fly is not giving up though. Has faith in his heroes and maybe the lockdown, trying to go for a counterattack, but Chaemiko says no.
Chaemiko could have just killed the expansion easily, but he says no. He wants to chase the army, wants to look for more kills, wants to keep on the pressure. And also is going to be denying the counterattack potential, which Fly was looking for. And the MK, dude, the MK is doing it again. The late game carry, Mountain King, being so powerful on level 4 and onward, just such a beast.
Human players of the world praise Matt Morris for that AoE change on the Thunderclap. An absolute strike of genius. But Fly lured Chaemiko back into his own base, saves his expansion. The Orc is still mining from 2 bases, and we're getting kind of close to empty gold mines in the main. Okay, scratch that. Fly is not mining, but the Great Hall is still standing.
But Chaemiko's got the big army. He's going to be able to go to the shop now if he wants for the Scroll of Healing. I don't know how Fly is supposed to win a fight anytime soon. He has to go for these run-by tactics. He has to try to prolong the game. He has to, in quotes, lame his way to victory. But how's he supposed to do this now? The AM is already here. Once again, spearheading the attack, which might perhaps be dangerous, but he's got the invul now. Fly getting found. Fly has to run.
Fly getting flanked. He might lose a lot of his army there. A big wall of breakers, and again the clap. 1 Walker trying to save himself into ethereal form. That's not going to work against casters. Level up for the Archmage. Level 5. These water elementals are insanely strong now, and the Mountain King is not even too far away. Fly continues to lose some units. This is the next Grunt dead, and he's down to 45. Needs to shut down this expansion attempt now, and he does, but he's still not mining from his own.
Water elementals doing a great job over there. Now MK at the shop. Has a lot of gold. Can go for a TP for mobility. Can go for going for the staff for mobility. And the boots! I love me some boots.
These boots are made for clapping. Finding the perfect position with that and speed scroll again. How much damage did he do to that main base in this run by 10?
But also positioning-wise, this was nice for him. Buying some time for his expansion, but the water elemental smartly left behind, killing more and more peons.
This expansion
only
is
1
so expensive for Fly. I think he can just stop Peon production now and just use the one in the main if
Yeah.
he didn't already do that.
Players' forces are under attack.
About 2 more minutes or so, and then the mains are gonna be dry. MK, oh my god.
Yep.
Full mana,
Yep.
almost level 5. This
Yep.
is so scary.
Yep.
You gotta run, dude.
Stormbolt,
Oh!
level 5.
There we
This
go.
is almost impossible to micro against now. So much slow. This entire army will be clapped no matter what. The AoE is gigantic. Uh-oh! Stormbolt surround a Chaemiko classic. Trying to fight out with Shockwave and Chain Lightning, but it shouldn't be enough. Heal Scrolls again, Invo Potion. But guess what? There's another target. That's
Whoa!
the first hero! Swapping an item, but TP not used. Farseer down. The rest of the army is trying to run away, but again, slow and Stormbolt and Clap. That's not the
Mountain
easiest
King.
task. Mountain King MVP. 10 supply lead for Chaemiko once again. Fly is holding on to a threat, and this one is his expansion in the up and the bottom right. That's the only thing that can save him. Until then, he has to dodge fights everywhere, but that's impossible against this Mountain King. More kills, TC struggling slow again, and there's focus fire. So much of that. A little block. GG! Chaemiko follows Moon into an all-Korea winner bracket final in Group C, and Fly against Hunter in the lower bracket semi-final. Damn! What a game with this MK.
Yeah. Good to see Chaemiko find his footing again. Honestly, the first game was pretty sloppy. That was given away kind of for free, but Chaemiko strikes back. The stage didn't frighten him too much, and I was expecting a more relieved face there by Chaemiko, honestly. He's not looking too overjoyed, but he did get the win.
I
Now.
bet when he comes back into the backstage area, there's a lot of pressure falling off his shoulders. The first WGL play for his new team, winners, and what a game that was. There was a big smile on his face, and yeah, he's realizing it now. I beat the former world champion Fly, and the newly father is going down to the lower bracket. But this was a better Fly than I expected, to be honest. The third game was pretty insane. It had great fights, a nice tug of war. It was a cool series all around, a perfect warm-up for what's to come. But yeah, what was the key in this match? I would say expansion too greedy and Chaemiko punishing that too hard. And maybe controlling the shop not too well, not too sure. I think the expansion was.
Also, a little questionable, definitely, to be attacking so close to the human main between the Murlocs and the Mercap. When the MK was still low level, but perhaps you kind of have to do that. The Farseer is a little bit on a timer, and if you give the MK too much time, as we I could see there, level 4 is super strong, and level 5 you have no chance anymore.
Getting wrecked.
It's not about mana then, it's all about the AoE damage from the mana points from the TC, the Farseer, and the MK. But the MK's got the Brilliance Aura. It's an unfair battle. And he's got that great slow down potential as well. Not only is it damage, but also slow. I don't know. I feel like this strat is just risky. If you go this TC Farseer strat and you don't get pretty far ahead early on in the mid game, it just always seems to fall off the rails.
Yeah, absolutely. This was Group C. Moon dominating, well, actually not as much as we thought. Still getting the 2-0 over Hunter. Chaemiko and Fly, you just saw the match. The Korean prevailing, sending the second Korean down to the lower, the second Chinese down to the lower bracket next to a Colorful.
Where now he'll be playing against the Peruvian. That's going to be a match for Tuesday.
Yeah, the
In
lower
2
bracket
days.
starts on Tuesday. We have the winner bracket finals tomorrow. And we'll see Chaemiko, I think, for the first time in a winner interview. Oh, actually, I think he had one when he won against Hunter. But yeah, cool to see Chaemiko prevailing here against one of the old schoolers. We see this more and more, the new guard of Warcraft. There's more and more players coming out of nowhere into good positions in tournaments. Fly has been there forever, Chaemiko absolutely not, and these guys, these young guys, this new generation is gathering more experience, is becoming more experienced on stage and more calm on stage, and this was exactly what he needed to win this game, like experience, not overcommitting, and that's what he learned the past year.
If Wei moves on now in the upper bracket, he defeats Moon, that would be quite the upset. Honestly, Group C, everyone thinks Moon's going to take first place, but who's going to be second place? Hunter, rather unlikely. It may very well be the case that we're going to have a rematch in the lower bracket final between Chaemiko and Fly, if everything goes the way we're expecting. Group C was, yeah, that's, I guess, the big question. Who's going to get second place? But now, after this break coming up soon, we're going to go into Group D. And Group D is insane, my friend.
Yeah, man. This is what we've all been waiting for. Up next is Chieftain versus Emperor. Lin versus Happy. Happy's first appearance in a Gold League tournament. The hype is so insane. We have an interview up with Happy on our YouTube, and you can watch that in the break that is coming up. Not only that, Remo also caught the King of Orcs, Lin, and got him for an interview. Very interesting answers, you told me.
Yeah, Lin not shy about sharing his opinion, unlike many other Koreans. That interview, I think, has some interesting points from Lin. Definitely check that out. We'll be uploading that later on.
It is actually online now.
Oh, so
for
quick!
For the little break, I thought it would be nice to have both interviews on. So Happy versus Lin is coming up. Both players gave us an interview. It's up at youtube.com/backtowarcraft. This should be the perfect introduction for you guys to get even more hyped for the upcoming match, the match of the group stage.
Yeah.
I mean, Lawlight versus 120 was cool. That was all nice and stuff, but this is serious hype.
If this is close to what we saw in their previous encounter at the Blizzard Invitational, dude, we're in for a treat. That was absolute insanity. Two of the best players with their race. They may very well be the two strongest players with their race at the moment. Lin with Orc and Happy with Undead. And with Happy, the other storyline, the other question here that's going to be answered is, how strong is he offline? How strong is he against the best in the world in a real tournament? He's been dominating Europe for years, and now his conquest continues to China.
This is his real challenge, the first real challenge for Happy. The MTW Legendary Cup was a nice warm-up against the European Elite and Lucifer and Czech and all, but this is where it counts. This is where the Elite is gathering twice a year. This is where it's about $60,000 and the title of the world champion. Usually we had Foggy in the race as Europeans to have a little hope for the championship, to finally get it back after so many years. But he got close. 2 silver medals, 2 bronze medals. One of the best WGL players of all time. But he's not here. And the hopes of the Western scene are on Happy's shoulders for sure.
Absolutely. Cash, of course, still also has a chance, but nobody's expecting him to have close to as good of a shot at the title. Actually, a little sneak peek about the interview. Oh, actually...
Okay, this is it. In less than 10 minutes, we are back. Group D starts.